Hello students, good evening to all of you. I hope you people are safe and healthy at your home and keep studying. So today we will start chapter 2, biological classification. From the ancient time we have been many attempts to classify the living organisms. Aristotle was the earliest to attempt a more scientific basis for classification, used simple morphological characters to classify plants into trees, shrubs and herbs. He also divided animals into two groups, those which had blood and those that did not. Right? Aristotle is also called the father of biology. Remember it, student, father of biology is Aristotle, and he had seen like he had actually divided animals into two groups, like which had red bloods and which had not red blood. Got it? So Linnaeus, as you people knows, before we have studied that Linnaeus had given two kingdom classification with Plantae and Animalia, right? This system did not distinguish between eukaryotes and prokaryotes, unicellular and multicellular organisms, and photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic organism, right? Classification of organisms into plants and animals was easily done and was easy to understand, but a large number of organisms did not fall into either category. Hence, the two kingdom classification was found inadequate. Got it? What happened, student? Linnaeus has given the two kingdom classification. According to him, there is only two kingdom. One is Plantae and one is Animalia. But in those two kingdom classification, we cannot distinguish between eukaryotes, prokaryotes. Student, you people knows about eukaryotes and prokaryotes. You know unicellular means one cell structure, multicellular more than two cell structure, right? Photosynthetic, you know, chlorophyll containing chlorophyll pigment is there, and non-photosynthetic organism. So they are not distinguished in this Plantae and Animalia, right? That's why these are some reasons that it was inadequate. It was just rejected, you can say, right? So after this, besides cross morphology, the need was also felt. It felt like need was felt actually that including other characteristics like cell structure. You know there are a different type of cell structure present in so many organisms. Nature of wall, there are different nature of cell wall present. Mode of nutrition, different type of nutrition, different type of mode of nutrition present. Habitat, methods of reproduction, evolutionary relationships. So due to including all these things, all these characters, R.H. Whittaker in 1969 he had proposed five kingdom classification. Those are Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Clear? The main criteria for classification used by him include cell structure, body organization, mode of nutrition, reproduction, and phylogenetic relationships. What is the phylogenetic relationship? Phylogenetic relationship means evolutionary relationships. Clear? Evolution, you people knows, like advancement, towards advancement. Clear? So many organisms included in a same group while they have a different characteristics, right? Like prokaryotic bacteria and blue-green algae grouped together, unicellular cellular organism and multicellular organism, for example, Chlamydomonas and Spirogyra, work placed together under algae. The classification did not differentiate between the heterotrophic group fungi and autotrophic group green plants. Right? There were characteristic difference in their wall composition. The fungi had chitin wall and green plants had a cellulosic cell wall. Right? So due to these, R.H. Whittaker has given the five kingdom classification. Listen student, Chlamydomonas and Spirogyra both are the scientific name of the algae. That's why it is written in a italic manner, italic form. Clear? Now here we will study about the characteristics of kingdom Monera, Protista and fungi of the Whittaker system of classification. Students, kingdom Plantae and Animalia deal separately in new chapters. Clear? It is as a whole chapter, kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. So let's start kingdom Monera. In kingdom Monera, bacteria are the sole member. The only member of the Monera are bacteria. As you know, there are bacteria, a different type of bacteria, different shape of bacteria present on our earth. Bacteria are almost everywhere. Hundreds of bacteria are present in a handful of soil. You know the meaning of this line. Even at on your hands also a lot of different type of different shape of bacteria is present. They can live in extreme habitats such as hot springs, deserts, snow and deep oceans. Many of them live in or on other organisms as parasites, right? Parasites, you people know, the organism which live on other organism, feed on other organism, that is called parasites. Obviously bacteria are parasite. Clear? Most of the bacteria are parasites. So bacteria are grouped under four categories based on their shape. On the basis of their shape, they are comes under four categories. The spherical, bacillus, comma shaped spiral. Spherical means coccus. They are spherical shape, right? Round shape. Bacillus, these are rod shaped bacteria. Comma shaped Vibrio cholerae. Cholera, the bacteria which cause the cholera, that is the comma shape. Vibrio cholerae, the name of that bacteria which caused the cholera, that is Vibrio cholerae. That right, which is comma shape. Spiralum, right? Please make a diagram here. Though the bacterial structure is very simple, they are very complex in behavior. They may be photosynthetic, autotrophic, or chemosynthetic, photosynthetic, chemosynthetic. Yes, it's not a new word for you. You people knows about. If you have any doubt, please ask me. The vast majority of bacteria are heterotroph, that is depends on other organism or on dead organic matter for food, right? So these are some shapes of bacteria like spherical, rod-like structure. These are bacillus, spiral. You can see here, right? See cocci, staphylococci, bacillus, rod-shaped, spiral, vibrio. Yeah, these are comma shape also. Vibrio cholerae, streptococci, streptobacilli, spirilla, diplococci, Coccobacilli, spirochetes, right? These are the shape of bacteria and some examples are given here. You can see here. So Archaebacteria, these bacteria are special since they live in some of the most harsh habitat, such as extreme salty areas, halophiles. Salty areas are called as halophiles, right? Hot spring, thermoacidophiles and marshy areas, methanogens. Clear? Marshy areas में जो रहते हैं, those are called as methanogens. Archaebacteria different from other bacteria as having different cell wall structure, and this feature is responsible for their survival in extreme conditions. Methanogens are present in the gut of several ruminant animals such as cows, buffaloes. They are responsible for the production of methane gas. Right? Methane is a biogas. The most important content of biogas is methane, right? Which is made up from the dung of these animals. You know, right? Now this is the structure of archaea. You can see flagella. I have given one word here, flagella. Flagella is helping, or flagella help the bacteria for the locomotion. Clear? Locomotion means movement, right? Eubacteria, these are also called true bacteria. They have flagellum. I told you these are flagellum help in the movement, help in the locomotion. Cyanobacteria are also called blue green algae. They have a chlorophyll A. Chlorophyll A, you know, this is the photosynthetic pigment, right? And it helps in the photosynthesis. The cyanobacteria are unicellular, colonial, are filamentous, freshwater or marine. Marine means uh, the organism which live in the oceans, right? Or terrestrial means जो land पे रहते हैं. Now the colonies are generally surrounded by gelatinous sheath. I tell you about like bacteria are living in a colony. They are not living in a single form. They are not living in a